Today we will discuss about the merchant banking services. Merchant bankers offers various types of banking services, but they provides banking services other than the primary banking services like accepting deposit, providing loans and advances. They mainly provide services like financial advices, then project preparation, venture capital, etc. These are the types of some of the important types of the services provided by the merchant banks. Here we are going to discuss about the role and as well as their functions and the services provided by the merchant banks. Merchant banks mainly offer financial advice and financial services for a fee. That is, for the services and advice provided by the merchant bank, they charges fees, and they are interpreted as bank. They are bank without primary commercial banking services. They offer banking various banking services but without primary banking services. It functions essentially as a wholesale banking services rather than retail banking services. They provide various types of the banking services than the retail banking services than. They deal with selective large industrial clients and not with the general public. That is, their activities are mainly based on the large industrial clients than the general public. The commercial banks mainly deals with the general public, and they are known by different names in different countries. And it was originated in Italy in mid 15th century, and merchant banks further developed in UK, France in 18th and 19th century, and in other developed and advanced countries in the mid of the 20th century. In India, the merchant banking service was started in 1967 by National Greenleaf Bank. It's a foreign bank, followed by the Citibank in 1970, and the State Bank of India was the first Indian commercial bank to set up a separate merchant banking division in 1972. And the ICICI set up its merchant banking division in 1973, followed by a number of other commercial banks like Canara Bank, Bank of Baroda, Bank of India, Syndicate Bank, Punjab National Bank, etc. These are some of the history of merchant banking services in India. Now let us see the definition on merchant banking in India. The Ministry of Finance, Government of India defines a merchant banker as any person who is engaged in the business of issue management, either by making arrangement regarding selling, buying or subscribing to securities as managers, consultant, advisors or rendering corporate advisory services in relation to such issue management. That is, the person or the who are any person who is engaged in the business of issue management by making arrangements regarding issue management, may be in the form of selling, buying or subscribing securities, and they may be either as a manager, consultant, advisor or corporate advisory services are termed as the merchant banker. It is also defined as an institution which covers the activities, those covering issues and underwriting, shares and debentures, portfolio management, determining composition of capital structure, consultant, advisor, credit syndication, lead managers of all public issue, counseling, etc. These services are also provided by the merchant bankers. Now we will discuss about the characteristics of merchant banking in India. There exists in the total staff the portion of the decision makers will be higher in the merchant banking section or merchant bank, and they make quick decision process. Then they provide high density of informations. Then they have high intense contact with the environment. Then their organizational structure won't be that much stringent, or it may be low concentration of short and medium term engagement than the long term engagement. They mainly emphasize on fees and commission income. We have already seen they provide banking services, or their services are provided by charging fees or the commission. They provide innovative functions rather than repetitive operations. They provide sophisticated services on national and as well as at the international level. And the low rate of profits distribution, the distribution profit will be at a low rate, and there will be high liquidity also. These are the characteristics of merchant banking. That is, their decision making, the proportion of the employees who and the decision makers will be higher. They make quick decision, they provide high density of informations, then they have intense contract with the environment. Their organizational structure is loose. They concentrate mainly on short-term and medium-term engagement. They emphasize on fees and commission income. They provide innovative services rather than the repetitive operations. They provide sophisticated services on to the national as well as at the international level. The profit distribution will be lesser and they have high liquidity ratio. Then next one is now we will see the functions of merchant banks. They mainly provide two types of the functions. They are service based functions as well as the fund based function. First we will see the service based functions. The service based functions include project counseling and pre-investment studies, credit syndication and project financing. That is, they will provide various services like project counseling and pre-investment studies. And then they provide how to syndicate the loans and how to get the project finance for the project, etc. Second one, how to get the finance for the project, etc. Then capital issue management, underwriting of capital issues, corporate counseling, portfolio management, stock broking and dealership, venture capital financing, advisory services for capital restructuring through mergers, amalgamations, takeover, debenture trusteeship, non-resident investment counseling and management, etc. Some of the services provided by the merchant bankers. That is, they provide the counseling services, pre-investment classes or supports, credit syndication, financing of for the project guideship, then capital issue management, underwriting of capital issue, corporate counseling, portfolio management, stock broking and dealership, venture capital financing, advisory services for capital restructuring, debenture trusteeships, non-resident investment counseling and management. These are the various service-based functions provided by the merchant banking. And then some of the fund-based services include bill discounting, venture capital, bought out deals, then lease financing and hire purchasing, factoring, underwriting, etc. These are the fund-based services mainly provided by the merchant bankers. In India, the merchant banking services are provided by the commercial banks and their subsidiaries. That is, this is not a separate brand institution. These services are provided by the existing commercial bank, foreign bank, private banks, various development banks, etc. In India, these are provided by the or merchant banking services are provided by commercial banks and their subsidiaries. Foreign banks including National Greenlay Bank, Citibank, Hong Kong Bank, etc. That is, foreign banks are also providing merchant banking services. All India financial institutions and development banks such as ICICI, IFCI, IDBI, state level financial institutions such as State Industrial Development Corporation, IDC, State Financial Corporation, SFCs, etc. Private financial consultancy firms and brokers such as JM Financial Investment Services, DSP Financial Consult, FNM Financial Consultant, Kotak Mahindra, etc. are also providing merchant banking services. Technical consultancy organization, professional merchant banking houses such as VMC Project Technology, that is, professional merchant banking houses are also exist in India. They are also providing this merchant banking services in India. Then various category or the various services provided by the merchant bankers in India are, they provide a long-term source of fund required by the corporate sector. That is, this category of first category of service is the provision of the long-term source of the funds. Second one, project counseling, which include credit syndication and working capital. Third one, capital structuring. Fourth one, portfolio management. These are some of the types of the activities provided by the merchant banks in India. Then SEBI has categorized these merchant banks into 4 categories for the purpose of registration, and these 4 categories are: category 1, merchant banker. This merchant banker can act as issue manager, advisor, consultant, underwriter and portfolio managers. They can perform all these duties. Then category 2 merchant bankers are such merchant bankers can act as advisor, consultant, advertiser, portfolio manager. They cannot act as issue manager. Here, in this case, we can say that this for category 1 merchant banker can perform as issue manager, but here the category 2 can do all other services except this issue managers, but they can act as co-managers. Then third one is they are allowed to act as underwriters, then advisors and consultants only. They can neither undertake issue management of their own or can act as co-manager. They cannot undertake the activities of portfolio management also. Here these category 3 can do advertising, consultant and underwriting services, but they cannot act as the issue manager or co-issue manager or as portfolio manager. They comes under the third category. And fourth category, merchant bankers can act as consultant or advisors. These two functions only can be performed by this fourth category. These are the four types of the fourth category of merchant bankers that are categorized by the SEBI. The first one, they do all these functions. Second one, cannot do this one, but they can act as co-managers. But third one, they can do these three functions only. They cannot either act as issue manager or co-manager or portfolio manager. Then fourth one, they can act as either advisor or consultant. Then importance of merchant banks. Provided they are the sponsors of the capital issue, underwriting shares and the debentures. They act as the sponsors of capital issue, underwriting of shares and debentures. This is an important function as far as the large industrial companies or the corporates are concerned. Second one, its activities also include determination of the composition of the capital structure, drafting of prospectus, application form, making arrangements for the listing and selecting underwriters, etc. These services are also provided by the merchant bankers. These services are also equally important for the large industrial corporates. And a third function, it is now mandatory that all public issues should be managed by the merchant bank function as a lead manager. That is, the public issue of all the leading corporate or leading industrial corporate should be through the merchant bank as lead manager. These are the importance of the that is, they helps in the they are the sponsors of the capital issue. Second one, they helps in the determination of capital structure, drafting prospect, application form, making arrangements for listing, underwriting, selection of underwriting, etc. Third importance is that all public issues must be through the merchant banking section. Here, a comparison of merchant banks and commercial banks are given. First one, we know that the merchant banks are of international in character, but commercial banks are mainly national in character, though now it has changed. Then the merchant banks mainly provides international services. They have highly professional staffs, and they mainly provides overseas consultancy services, etc. These are the features of the merchant bank. Second one, the major functions of the merchant banks are they provide financial advices and services based on the fee or the commission. That is, major function is of the merchant bankers is that they provide financial services and advice based on the fee. But the commercial banks' main activities are the accept deposit, lend money, etc. Third one, the merchant bankers mainly deals with the wholesale banking business, whereas the commercial banks deals with the retail banking services. And the clients of the merchant banking division is the selective large industrial clients, whereas in the case of the commercial banks, they are the general public. The merchant bankers mainly engages in the broking services, whereas the commercial banks mainly they engaged in the banking business. Then merchant banks are willing to accept the risk, whereas the commercial banks generally avoids the risk. These are some of the comparisons of the commercial banks and merchant banks. That is, merchant banks are international in character. They have professionally qualified staffs. They provide overseas consultancy. Their main functions are financial advice and services for fee. They mainly provide for wholesale banking services. They mainly deal with selective large industrial clients, and they are more engaged more in broking services, and they are ready to take the risk. Whereas the commercial banks are mainly national in character. Their major functions are accept deposit and lend money. They mainly provide retail banking services. They mainly deal with the general public, and their main services are banking services. And these commercial banks usually avoids the risk. The functions of merchant banks are given in detail here. The merchant banks offers wide range of activities to meet the demand for long-term funds required to the corporate sector. The functions of the merchant banks are given below, and the first function is that the marketing corporates and other security. That is, they helps to marketing the corporate and other security. The basic function of merchant banking is the marketing corporate and other securities. Second one, they underwrite the new issue. Underwriting is a guarantee and given by the underwriters that in the event of under subscription, the amount underwritten would be subscribed by the underwriters. That is, they underwrite the new issues. Then third one is they helps in the project preparation, appraisal, project planning, etc. They helps in the next, or another important function is that they helps the loan syndication. Loan syndication means assistance provided by the merchant banker to get term loan from the financial institution. That is the assistance for getting the term loans from the financial institution. Then next one, they helps in getting the venture, or they provides venture capital. Venture capital refers to the financing for the new ventures. Another function is that they helps in getting the leasing and project leasing. That is, lease is a right to use an asset. The owner of the asset allows the user to use the asset for a specified period. For rent is the term lease, and the merchant bank prepare projects for the client unit, giving the right to use the project to those industrial units under an agreement for a specified period for consideration. That is, the industrial client can use the projects prepared by the, or they give the projects prepared by the merchant banks to the large industrial clients on a lease basis. Then they also provides offshore financing. Since they are international in character, they helps the clients in following areas involving foreign currency, long-term foreign currency financing, export and import, joint ventures, foreign collaboration arrangements, etc. Then another important function is that they helps in the portfolio management. That is, portfolio refers to the proper combination of securities in the manner that they give maximum return with minimum risk. That is, the minimize the risk and maximize the return is the basis of the portfolio management. Then corporate advisory services. Merchant banks offers mainly financial advice and services for the fees. These are the important functions of the merchant banks in India. So far we have examined the definition, history, importance, functions and various categories of the merchant banks in India.